when you see a person come before you at this particular time, and I know sometimes it's good to give those particular people a certain amount of respect when they're trying to teach you a certain amount of things, but you got to realize one thing about this when you're doing that, and just understand this. This particular knowledge is your knowledge. So in so many words, the spirit realm chose a group of people to go through this, to access all this particular information, to give it back to the one who are waking up at this dispensation of time. So in so many words, it's your birthright to get this particular knowledge and this particular information. It's your information. It's not the speaker's information. You see, too often we look at that person has great wisdom, and we want to turn our life over to that particular person. And the whole key is that person was just a person to reintroduce you to knowledge. You understand that's not only in you, but it was knowledge that you put down before you went to sleep and agreed to come back to get this particular knowledge at this particular time. So in so many words, you agreed to come back at this particular time to rediscover your past and rediscover your particular information, and ultimately rediscover that you are gods and not human. You see, you agreed to do that. So in so many words, it's your birthright to get this particular knowledge and this particular information. It's your information. It's not the speaker's information. So in so many words, it's your birthright to get this particular knowledge and this particular information. It's your information. It's not the speaker's information. So in so many words, it's your birthright to get this particular knowledge and this particular information. It's your information. It's not the speaker's information.
You are the president, nigga. Fuck you. You are the president. Oh ass nigga. What's up, people? What's the deal, man? What's up? Sunday service, it go down. Yeah, we got the guy, my bro guy, Michael Bell on. Hey, we about to deep dive into his book and all the understanding of this masonry thing. It go down. Peace to the chaos family. Listen, my bro guy, Michael Bell, wrote a powerful book that you need in your life. We're going to get into it. Trust and believe. But first, let me say this. You are the president. Look, matter of fact, let me say this. You, president, go stock up on cans, nigga. Go stock up on them canned goods, nigga, because it's about to go down. Hey, the automatons are on the loose. Say, this boy about to shut the world down. Hey, man, stock up on cans, stock up on canned goods. Y'all know what it is, man. Say, that is too much. Look, congratulations to the winner, Tyree. He was the only one that got guessed the right video. You know, lined up with the right video, the 10,000 subs contest winner. So yeah, Tyree, you should be looking for a package soon. I'm gonna do another contest very, very soon. It's gonna be a Sunday service contest. Y'all know what it is, man. Gotta do it. Man, let me shout out the family, man. Let me shout out the Chaos family real quick. See who's all up in here. What's up, EJ Branch? Harmony 9. Osini Gold. Yeah, go down. Bell, what's the deal? Shine Bright. Showstopper. Breath of Me. Jonathan, what's up? C. Marie. Oh, okay. That's Marie Long. Yay, that's my
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got to tap C. Marie in if we can.
Yes, for sure. What's up, bro? Skeptical spiritualist, you know what it is. Kurt, the born worthy. One of the last few. Now, look, hey, these now times, this thing is picking up. The distraction, the illusion is picking up, right? They trying to keep your attention, right? That's why they held that voting thing or whatever that shit was so long, because they trying to keep your attention. They kind of keep you distracted from going within. right? You're stirring up your emotions, getting you all hyped up, and you know, and losing focus of the real play, right? They pushing this thing, all this technology and stuff. They want you to use these two eyes. They like, forget your first eye. They want you to be in these two eyes. But listen, my dream's been off the chain, and they've been telling me it's go time on this work. So if you ain't doing no work, you on the wrong channel, baby. For real, because we are workers over here. Fuck woke, do work. Get it in, get it in. There is nothing on that TV except for this show Michael Bell told me about. What was that show, Mike, you told me about?
Oh man, Raised by Wolves.
Yeah, we watched one episode.
First episode.
Yeah, we watched one episode the other day. What day we watched? Yesterday or something like that. It was all right. Yeah, we got to keep watching it though.
You gotta tell us more about it, Mike. It was interesting, but we watched it after we had watched the movie, so we wasn't all the way into it like we needed to be.
I didn't know there was a movie. There's a movie to it?
No. We had watched the movie prior to watching that. So our eyes were already like, you know what I mean?
I think we watched the movie. Only put us on another movie too. So we just been trying to, if y'all got the movies, anything that the family can gain some energy from or some life from, let us know, because we be interested in all that type of stuff. You know what it is. But yeah.
I say this, hey, real quick, with the Raised by Wolves, it's a lot of symbolism. So I'll be honest, somebody had got at me and told me to watch it, right? It took me about, I'm gonna say, at least 2 episodes before I was like, hold on, wait. They telling a whole nother story, and I'll just say it's worth watching, especially for the symbolism. I don't want to spoil it for nobody, but it's definitely worth watching for the symbolism, and it kind of ties into that Anunnaki. Oh man, it's dope. It's dope. Trust me.
Yeah, we're gonna get it in right after this. We're gonna get another one in right after this. Man, so shout out to that. Shout out to the family. Now look, tomorrow, I'm taking my work to a whole nother level. I'm starting a juice fast. Meet me on the app. Hey, Spirit just told me, hey, yeah, you know what? It's time to clean out. Meet me on the app. A juice fast is going down. Think I'm gonna do it for a week, but we ain't doing no fast for no health reasons. It's because we trying to turn up on our inner world. Because I know my meditations be off the chain when I'm tapped in and focused and unclogged. Like Bobby said, you got to clean out. So, hey, it go down. So hey, look, what's that app called, babe? Again,
it's called the Life app.
Yeah, the Life app. Y'all know the group. We already in there. So hey, I'm gonna be back in there in a minute. So I'm gonna.
But here's the thing, too, family. Don't be discouraged. If you need to do a fast for health reasons, then do your fast for health reasons. And this is a part of what I was going to what I was going to bring up with Michael Bell right now. Because he talks about in the book how the body, these systems within our bodies align to our spirituality directly. Your body is a tool. Your body is a vessel. So I hear Dream, right? And he's like, hey, we ain't doing it for that. But some of y'all need to fast for health reasons to realign your body so that it can be the vessel that you need it to be to channel the spiritual messages, the spiritual downloads to heal those chakras. You know what I mean? Because a lot of our trauma and a lot of our beliefs live in our bodies.
What was the inspiration on writing the book, Mike?
And talk to us about the body. He said, what was the inspiration on the book, Mike? And then also I want you to dive deeper for the family on how the body is a spiritual tool, how the body is a vessel.
No. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna answer the first part about the motivation for the book. The motivation for the book, I'm gonna hold up a copy. I know y'all got one, but I got the motivation for the book, the Occult Meaning of Masonry, its symbols, and the Chakra System. The motivation came from I joined the Masonic Lodge about 7 years ago. Now, at the time, my level of consciousness, I would have swore I was woke. I'm not saying that Freemasonry was what, took one of those wokes off, but it did, but not in the way I expected, because joining it wasn't what I expected. I thought I was going to join. I thought that they were going to escort me to some underground library, and it was going to be golden light shining everywhere, and I was going to read all the books that none of the normal people get to read. And the exact opposite happened. Told me, man, brother, find your own light. And at the time, I'm listening to Bobby and C. Freemanelle heavily, and my disappointment turned into determination, because I realized that this is a melanated science, but it's at a point where it's in a preservation mode. People are just preserving it by memorizing it and repeating it. So I went in initially. I just wanted to understand what it was for myself. And in meditation, it hit me the correspondence to the chakra system. But I'll say my motivation, because I started researching for this book like 5 years ago, my motivation to get it done and completed was C. Freemanelle. I had C. Freemanelle on my altar for years, channeled him multiple times. And I always said I was going to write this book. But it seemed like whenever I was trying, it seemed like I was forcing it. So I would sit down and try to get started, and it didn't feel like now was the time to write the book. And I'll be honest, I even went into meditation, and I was doing past life regressions heavy. I spent the whole summer, like 2017, doing past life regressions. And I saw all these, matter of fact, the tie-ins to the Bobby that you played about how, we come here for certain work, the intro. We come here, this is our information, it's not so much the speakers, but it's yours. But I did these past life regressions. And the main thing was I was frustrated that I was not writing my book. And the best I can say is, like, my higher self, I don't have another word for it, but I definitely know it was an aspect of me that had none of my panic, none of my concerns, none of my anxiousness. I still vividly see what he looked like. But anyway, I was pressing, man, how come I'm not writing my book? I'm supposed to be writing this book about masonry and this and that. And what he did, I gotta say this briefly, he gave me my book of leaves. Now at the time I'm saying, this tie into Lovecraft, I'm looking at, remember they had the book of names, right?
Yep.
Well, he gave me a book of leaves, and it was a living book. It had vines in it that was still growing, and you could hear it, creaking and stretching. And I realized when I came out of meditation, book of leaves meant book of lives, because that's when he gave me that book and I started thumbing through it. That's when I started going through these past life regressions. But to just make a long story short, I saw all these past lifetimes, and I went back. Some of them went back far. I swear, I don't even say it's Atlantis. I called it Pangea. I went back so far. I was a priesthood. I was in this priesthood, and we were underground, and we had these obelisks made of gold and obsidian, and I came to in this body, so I was looking around trying to be nosy, and they elbowing me like, get with the program. We got a ritual going down. But I'm looking around. I'm trying to remember everything I'm seeing. But the point of the matter was, through my frustration, my higher self told me, said, man, you have written more books than you have ever read. Like, man, chill out. You know what I'm saying? You worried about this one book. You done wrote tens of thousands of books in other lifetimes. Kick back. And so I did, and I'm glad that I was patient, because what started out as just a simple book that probably would have been about 60 pages This book took on a life of its own. Like I said before, I had multiple channels at one time, and it was just apparent to show that the chakra system is just that. It's a system. And see, everybody is sad, but there are some people who have worked on their chakras for years, possibly decades, and have never raised their kundalini, have never had any deeper revelations, have no idea if their chakras are balanced or not. And that's sad. That's just as sad as saying, I don't remember my dreams. I don't astral project. And so what I realized is these correspondences exist because what works for D-Ray might not work for me. What worked for Dream might not work for anybody else. But these systems that you can correspond it to, it gives you a handle, a grip on how you can approach it for yourself. So the reason why I started with Masonry, like I said, that was the outset of the book, but it turned into a book of correspondence, so that if you're working on your chakras, you inside this book, I have the correspondence for musical. You can go through the musical harmonics. You can go through alchemy, mental alchemy. It's just all these different correspondences. So hopefully this will give somebody, and again, I don't approach Masonry in this book from the boys club aspect and, you know, some old dry old information. I try my best to speak as plainly as possible, so that way anybody can get this information. Because again, I look at it as a birthright. It's a science that our people encoded and left for the future. It's like a time capsule. Now on the second part, and I answered about your body being a vehicle and a vessel.
Well, let me say this real quick, Mike. You writing this book, because I was reading it. I've been reading it. It's not a complicated read. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, authors will try to big words and put so much different things into it, but you straight to the point and giving the family what they exactly need. And you know, it's damn near just like Panic's book. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we just have that kind of touch to reach our people that way, and how you and Panic wrote your book. But yeah, you did that, man.
Hey, I want to say this. Panic's book was actually a huge motivator, and I cited him, I cited his book, I cited Panic not throughout, but when I get to the part about the chakras and about I speak on the Goetia in there too. I gave all due credit to Panic, but I'm gonna say this: Panic was a motivator in that I read his book, and I always wanted to write the book that I wanted to read. That was my motivation. You know how you read a good book and you'll say, man, he should have had some pictures. Or you'll read it and say, man, why didn't she just say this and that? I always read books, and I always wanted to know, man, they should have had a glossary in the back to explain these terms. Because you read these books and they be saying these big words and they be using abbreviations, and you say, man, there should have been a glossary in the back. But I read Panic's book, and I said to myself, this is close to the book that I always wanted to read. So I'm going to be honest. I made it a point to speak plainly. Made it a point. That was one of the main things I constantly went back over. I did not want to come off in the hyperbolation of the escalation of the animated etheric particles. I didn't want to do none of that. I tried to speak plainly. And to be honest, sometimes in speaking plainly, you'll probably notice that throughout the book, I constantly say, think about it. Well, just think.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to encourage to have your own thought, your own aha moment, because there's very few books I've read where I didn't disagree with the author. And so I don't mind you disagreeing with me. But the whole thing is for you to think, which is why I tried to kind of stay away from a lot of my own personal experiences. Even when there's a section on dreams and stuff, I did my best to not speak on my dreams, because listening to Bobby and Panic for years, I actually had to deprogram I was expecting to have their experiences. So when I did start meditating and astral projecting, I was expecting to see what they saw. And that's not the truth. Everybody has, you have your own, we all view this thing from our own singularity. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to encourage thought. Don't be afraid to experiment, because you don't know how many people done jumped on between all these social media platforms on and told me Masonry don't have nothing to do with chakras. You don't know what you're talking about. And I'm saying, chakra system is a system. It can be applied to any system. You know what I'm saying? It can be applied. That's why we see pictures of chakras in the solar system, chakras in your adrenal system, your internal systems. No, all systems correspond. And then that's the way for you to find out what worked best for you. So yeah, I did my best to speak as plainly as possible. And I wanted it to be a document that spoke to each reader on their level. So if you read it from a Masonic standpoint, you're going to say, oh, I never knew when I was in the lodge and I did this and I did that. Okay. And if you read it just from your own perspective, where I haven't ever set foot in the lodge, you will read it and you'll see, because that's why I wanted to point out that these lodge meetings happen in the astral. They happen in your head, in your temple. So you don't have to ever set foot in the lodge to get that understanding, and to actually approach your astral projections and your meditations from a different standpoint of being within your own temple of Luxor. You know, you in your own pyramid, working your own rituals and things like that. You know, just from that aspect, I'll put it like that.
Yeah, them boys be like, how long you been traveling?
Yeah.
Traveling west or something like that.
Traveling east, sister,
Traveling east. But I will say, I done got out of many tickets with that verbiage, only because my stepfather is a Mason. And so right when I done got pulled over, I say, hey, I done got pulled over. Tickets disappear.
Yeah.
They may give it to me. They may give it to me just because they have to. They got their cameras on, and people can be hearing the conversation that they're having or whatever. Them tickets don't make it. They don't make it.
Talk to us about that, Mike, these now time Masons, and kind of what this whole group is, before we deep dive into the book.
Okay, I say this. Masonry right now, especially Prince Hall Freemasonry, overall though, is going through a transition. Actually, if you notice now, you'll see commercials where people are before it was shrouded in secrecy, but now you're seeing commercials like almost like army recruitment commercials, right? But it's going through a transition phase, because we in the age of Aquarius, baby. Yeah. And that's why I say in my book, one of the first things I break down is because there are those Masons who say, hey, brother, you exposing the secrets, right? But we know, anybody who's listening to C. Freeman L know, secret is where it comes from the word sacred. These things aren't secret, they are sacred. And then by mistaking by mistaking what was sacred to now become a secret, we become scared of it. Sacred, secret, scared, all these words, they fall in a line. They're the line. So we took something that was sacred, made it a secret, and now we're scared of it. It's not a secret. It's just something sacred that we encoded. And so right now with these groups, most Masonic groups, and I'm not talking about just the brothers, are returning to esotericism. They want to know. They want to know the deeper meaning, because there's brothers who can repeat this Masonic stuff with their eyes closed, hopping on one leg, you know what I'm saying? But you couldn't ask them anything deeper. What does it mean? I've asked my own questions. Do you astral project? I used to meet some of these brothers, and they can spit this stuff off top of their head. I mean, they know hours and hours worth of this Masonic information, So I used to be like, I bet your astral projections be off the hook. And they'll be like, I rarely dream. And I'm just like, see, and so that's why another thing, not to on the same track, but that's why I think I dedicated like a whole chapter. And there's only 7 chapters in the book, but you see how big the book is. I made it 7 chapters to align with the 7 chakras, but I dedicated a chapter to dream recall, because a lot of people will tell you, man, they'd always laugh and say, I might remember a dream or 2 every year. And it's just like, or some people tell you, I never dream. I don't dream. And that's why I'm just like, no, everybody dream. You just don't remember your dreams. You know? And so I wanted to be honest, I feel like I'm an instigator of the age of Aquarius. That's why I accept everybody's truth. You might see me disagree with somebody on Facebook. I might tell you you ain't right, but I'll never tell you you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to have that moment, but we're at this point, even though like Panic, we're at the cusp. We're at the cusp of the age of Aquarius. This is that knowledge. A new epic is being written right now. We don't even have any idea who's writing it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm thinking to myself, like, somebody I know might write that next epic thing in terms of consciousness to propel us forward for the next, it might not even drop for 2,500 years, but this is what's going on right now. So me encouraging people to think, to have your own aha moment, to work on your dreams, to actively astral project. I mean, yeah, of course, most of us are of the understanding that we're doing this work so we don't come back. But like I said, I did past life regressions. And at first I had to really think about it, because I was kind of pissed that I saw all these past lives where I was a teacher in some capacity. And some of them kind of had me pissed. One of them, I always laugh at this. Samuel Jackson and Django. Oh, I look just like dude. I look just like dude. And I was teaching this little white girl, and I was like her mentor. I can't think of the word, but I was like her tutor. And I was just old and patient. Now, little missus, gotta learn your letters before you can go ice skating, little missus. And I came out of that one. Like, what the? I was pissed. But I took it in stride, and I realized what I was being shown was, this is what you do. You're a teacher in some capacity, whether it's a part of a priesthood or one-on-one, this is what you do. And so I take it in stride, and I just want to encourage others to have these same moments, because this epic is being written right now. And so that's part of what I was going to speak on later. I know we probably won't get to it, but that Owaspy Bible, it's just a channel. And a lot of people get these channels, and we miss them because LOL, we don't remember our dreams, or I don't astral project, or I don't have time to meditate. I really wanted this book to be to demystify and make it simple so other people could understand it, man. Like Bobby said in the intro, this is your information. If you hear listening, everything led up to this moment for you to understand what you can do, what you need to do, or maybe even help you decide what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Yeah, that's good, Mike. Yeah, and that brings to thought these times now, like I was saying at the beginning, like, if you ain't doing your work, if you ain't literally going to sleep and meditating, first off, don't tell yourself you can't dream or you don't dream or whatever. You always have to be in the know that you are dreaming, and you just say, I always remember my dreams. Tell yourself that shit. But if you ain't doing your work right now, like I said, family, you need to get off this motherfucking channel and go meditate and do something for real, because these now times is in full effect. And Mike has brought a whole bunch of information for the family. So, hey, there is no more excuses, because his book is about the work. Folk won't do work. And we talk about diving into these chakras, talk about diving into our mind, our brain, our mind, and everything. So, hey, it go down. Let me ask you this, Mike. Well, first, talk about that question D. Ray was talking about with the body and how it all lines up with Masonry.
Okay, I want to say this. While we're on the topic of meditation in the body, and we could tie it into Masonry. C. Freeman L. was the first person I heard say this, because you always hear people say, "Oh, no meat, brother. You won't vibrate higher if you eating that dead flesh, my brother. No meat." And then another person to tell you, you got to be completely vegan, no dairy, no eggs, or you won't even vibrate to the fifth dimension. You know, it's all about diet. And you hear these people telling you that what you eat affects your consciousness. Now, I can accept that. I don't accept that I'm not going to sin, I'm not going to whatever, because my great granny ate nothing but hog mogs and pig feet, and you can't tell me where she at right now. And the thing I wanted to say was, C. Freeman L. was a person I heard say that your body is going to tell you what fuel you need to get where you need to go. And so I think a lot of people confuse it when they tell you that you have to be vegan. No, they have to, because that's what their vehicle is demanding. Now, I'm not saying like D. Ray said at the beginning, I'm not saying, man, drink the bacon grease out the Crisco can and get your channels. I'm not telling you that. What I'm saying is, you have to know thyself. And even in knowing yourself, I'm not the person that's going to tell you you got to be vegan. I'm not the person that's going to tell you don't eat pork. Your body is going to tell you what it needs to get done. So if you are attempting to, let's say that right now you want a Porsche type consciousness. You want a Porsche. You want something that go fast, only 2 doors, bright red. Well, if you got a Porsche consciousness, you can't hook it up to a horse like it's a carriage. You're not going to get your usage out of that Porsche. So of course you're going to need some 91. You're going to have to wash and butter that thing, and you're going to take a different kind of care of it, as opposed to if you want rocket ship consciousness, you plan on going to the ethers and doing this and that. You're not going to put 87 fuel into a rocket ship and expect to leave Earth. So the thing is, you have to know your body, and you have to get in the habit of listening to your body. And that's where meditation come in at. During meditation, I made it a point for a long time. I would speak to every organ, every limb in my body in meditation, and I would wait till I got an answer. And I started off with one simple question: what is your name? I'm talking to my lungs, talking to my liver, talking to my left arm, talking to my right arm. Hey, what's your name? Because I began to realize that some of my meditations were just in different body parts. And then I started, when I got good at astral projecting, I would astral project through each chakra, because chakras always been important to me. I've been working on chakras for a long time. So I learned that you can astral project through any chakra. And some of these dreams you have, I think it was Travis Mages that pointed out in one of his videos. Matter of fact, it was on this show. He pointed out how, matter of fact, I got the book here, that Mystical Kabbalah by Dion Fortune. In this book, it'll help you with your decoding of your dreams. Because sometimes, like, have you ever had a dream where the sky might have been a weird color, might have been reddish pink, might have been purple? Well, these colors align along the paths, the paths between the 10 Sephiroth. The different colors align with different paths. So a lot of times when you're having these dreams and you're decoding it, a lot of people just look at the overall message. I was scared. I was happy. My granny was there. I was a god. I was a goddess. I was in the underground palace, you know, instead of what color was the sky, you know, because that might tell you, the color of the sky might just tell you what chakra you're dealing with, what body parts you're dealing with. And these are the things you want to know to get to the understanding of what kind of fuel you need. Because I just recently went almost 3 weeks where no meat. And you know, when I go to work, when you act with your coworkers, people ask all the time, like, no meat, you going vegan? And I'm like, no, I'm not going vegan. I just need my body to understand that you're gonna do what I tell it sometimes, what I tell you.
Right.
It's about a discipline thing, because you find yourself craving French fries, man. I don't need no, you know, no, I don't want no fries. Now, sometimes, I know this is gonna sound contradictory, sometimes you satisfy that urge.
Yep.
But when you know that you've been feasting on French fries every day for lunch, maybe now it's time to remind your body that, nigga, you don't get to eat French fries every day. You know, we got other things we need to be doing. So so what I did, I do this on the regular, because I say this all the time. Everybody now is on diet and, you know, 5D consciousness. Man, back when everybody was on the Atkins, see, I'm 47, so I ain't gonna say I'm old, but you know, I'm young enough. But when everybody was on Atkins, remember, the Atkins diet consisted of eating as much meat as you could. That turned me off. I went vegan. This late 90s. I saw everybody just devouring nothing but meat, and I was like, ugh. I went vegan, no dairy, no eggs. I did that for like 2 years. So when people tell me now, oh man, you better stop eating that meat, you go, man, no. You do with your body, you get in tune with your body, and you listen. And then every now and then you discipline yourself. So I mean, I know also, the longer you get off of meat and dairy and things like that, it's a horrible transition back. Your body is gonna say, when I did go back to meat, oh my goodness, my body was just like, it was like putting kerosene in the car. It was pooting and putting, because my body had went so long not eating all them fatty foods, all them greasy foods, not eating pork. And when I did go back, man, it was a horrible transition. So yeah, I would never tell somebody you don't got to watch what you eat. You do, because your body is a vessel, and you came here to do work through this vessel. Now, some of us came here to be in a destroying phase. And unconsciously or consciously, they destroy their body and things around them. And if that's what you're here to do, that's what you're here to do. But, you know, again, I'm going to quote C. Freeman-El, it's those 3 phases: generator, operator, destroyer. And you can go through all 3 phases in a day. You could be a generator for a year, an operator and a destroyer, you know, and it's just different phases. So these phases apply not just to your consciousness, but to your body. And so as a vessel, we know that if you, as a telescope, the clearer the glass is, the thicker it is, the farther you see. If you got smudges and impurities in the glass, you won't even be able to see the moon. So your body as a vessel, as a tool, as an instrument, just depends on what you want to do. And I say this too, some people who had these horrible dreams with demons attacking them, it was that burrito you ate before you went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? That happens too. That happens too. You done ate a burrito with extra hot sauce and jalapenos and went to sleep, and then now you had this dream, and the demons is finna get you. No, it was that burrito, and your body was telling you, don't eat no more burritos, nigga, before you go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you know, and even in that, I just want to real quick, and then we can whatever you want to say. I want to say that it's always a contradiction to any statement, because sometimes I get my best dream work and all that, when I'm well rested, don't go to sleep with a lot of food on my stomach, you know, that's when I have my best ones. But I've had other ones where I've gotten full right before I went to sleep, might have ate some fried chicken, drunk a beer, and passed out. And then I was in the astral realm with Bobby Hemmett, and we discussing something in Egypt. So it's all about finding your groove. I don't want anybody to feel as though I said, you got to do this in order to expect that. Or if you don't fast at least once a week every month, those rules are out there for you to figure out what works for you. So like Wise said, you feel it coming, I'm finna go on this juice fast. Man, do that. Do that. I might join you too. I might only fast for an hour though. You know what I'm saying? I might get my hour juice fast in and be like, okay, I feel great. I'm gonna go give me some chicken. But however it works for you is the key. And so you won't know unless you at least attempt to tune in to yourself. And so it's just the thing with meditation is a lot of people approach it from an external aspect when it should really be all internal. You should be trying to, you know, that's why the saying is, man, know thyself and you will know the universe and its gods. You don't have to try to learn nothing outside yourself. If you learn about yourself, these correspondences that I speak on in this book, you'll get those same correspondences from within yourself. That's in the Kabbalion. The Kabbalion says that a man can sit in an observatory and understand the workings of a planet far away just by using the laws of correspondence. So a lot of times people want to understand something outside of themselves when the answer is all inside of you. You learn about yourself, and then by that, you can make those correspondences to understand things externally. And so that applies to your body and your consciousness.
Yeah, that's good, Mike. That's good. And when we are understanding that we have to, you know, understand ourselves more and more and more, then we can do certain things to, you know, manipulate our energies or manipulate thought. Like I'll go on a fast, right, for a week, and the next week I'll be taking shots every day of the Three Sisters. So you know what I'm saying? So it's chaos. It's not there is no rules to this thing, right? The way you tap in is the way you tap in. Are you getting results? Are you seeing results? That's the key.
You know what? Hey, can I say something real quick? When you brought the Three Sisters, you made me smile because at one point I didn't have space for an altar. And my wife at the time, she had that old school mentality. She was from Florida, you know, some of that stuff you shouldn't be doing, you know. So I wanted my altar. I didn't really have space for it. So I came up with my mobile altar, right? And one of the fixtures of my mobile altar, no matter where I was, I could be at a library, I could be sitting on the steps in front of my place, I would set up my altar. And it just consisted of images. You know, for windy days, I had a bunch of stones and statues I kept in my backpack. And I would sit, you know, a skull on top of this image. I'd sit a crystal on top of that one. But long story short, part of my mobile altar was I carried my libation. And I had my Three Sisters in. I had a little small vial for Three Sisters. Initially I had it just to spit it to the 4 cardinal points, you know, Ashe, you know, that I always spit one up in the air over my head, let it rain down on me, that spirit, Ashe. But I started feeling that buzz. I said, oh, man, I had some of my best revelations. Like you said, I set out, get my study on. I realize I am the ancestor, so I'm a Ashe, one for them, one for me, Ashe, one for them, one for me. And I had some of my
facts.
Had some of my best downloads that way.
Yeah.
I'll share something else I used to make, and it ain't even top secret. I got it out of Judika Illis's book, The Encyclopedia of Gods and Goddesses. Baron Samedi is a Masonic deity. A lot of people don't know he has a correspondence to Masonry. You can see it in the top hat and all that. What she's suggesting there, that you make this drink with some rum, 21 hot peppers, and you let it sit for 6 weeks.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And it's not for consumption. You're supposed to put it on your altar and let the Baron have at it. Well, I tweaked it, made it my own. I took the rum with the peppers. My kitchen window open to the east, so when the sun rises, I put it in that kitchen window, let it sit for 6 weeks, and me and the Baron took shots. Me and the Baron took shots, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I done built up energy. I done astral projected while woke off that, and I'm sharing that. That ain't nothing top secret. Yeah. But hey, trust me, with them 21 hot peppers in it, is spicy. I drunk it with a few of my partners who not even on consciousness. One of them is he's a sheik or imam he's a Moorish sheik. We took that and he told me, man, he said he astral projected. I told him I know what it do. I know what it do. I done drunk it with my friends and everybody be like, "What is this you drinking?" Because I am the ancestors. So when I take shots with them and shots. Hey, my definition of taking shots with the ancestors is this is their shot. Exactly. This is my shot. I take both of them.
Exactly. I buy a bottle for my ancestors and then I buy a bottle for me. But then I still pour libations to the ancestors and then I'll pour a cup on my ancestor altar for the family. Yeah, man, it go down. And that and in that shit, I'll be powered up. Yeah. So now, man, hey, we're gonna have to have a whole nother build on that drinking.
That's a whole nother build. Not even just drinking, but hitting that reefer too once or twice. You know what I mean? To break through, because that ego will have you missing out on some stuff. But once you engage with them concoctions consciously,
facts,
it will unblock and unlock some things. You be like, oh, that's what that meant. Oh, that's the work I need to do.
Nigga, I took a gram of shrooms, then took 2 shots of this cinnamon whiskey and went into meditation and got some off the chain revelations. Hey, I'm telling you, man, you got to be chaos sometimes with this stuff. Now, look, you also got to, so it's a balancing thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I had some experiences with the 3 sisters where I was fucked up for a whole whatever, like, god damn, they was whooping my ass. So I had to move around from the 3 sisters, and you know what I'm saying, and it is what it is, because I caught myself getting too comfortable with the 3 sisters, taking it in the morning and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was tripping. I was like, man, I gotta get out. So, you know, you start losing yourself, but you gotta balance everything out. And that's why I'm doing a fast and all this other good stuff.
If you don't, it'll start taunting you. That stuff it'll taunt you.
Right. No, you're right.
You don't gain control over it. Then you paranoid, you feeling some type of way. You can't do the things that you need to do. That means the roles have been reversed. Now you are not using this tool. This tool is now using you.
Yep. Because at all times, you know, like we talk about these tools, you know, you hear a lot of like ego death. It's not about killing your ego. Your ego is a servant that is be put in the place of a master. It's just not in its right place. And it's the same thing with these tools. It's a tool, not a couch. You know, if you have a tool, it's for a purpose. A wrench is for wrenching things. A screwdriver is for screwing, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to these 3 sisters, the libations, even with the tree, like you said with the reefer, what I used to do, I used to take my panic pack and I would take buds and I would mix it with the panic pack and let it sit in that panic pack, and I break that thing down and I sprinkle some more panic pack in there, and man, had some of my best meditations, some of my best astral projections. But again, if it's become a couch, if you just sitting on it, relying on it, being lazy, because everybody knows you sit on the couch, it's a good chance you ain't doing work. If it's become a couch and not a tool, it's a problem. And I say this, I had the same thing with the three sisters. I had so many breakthroughs that it was maybe 3 months before I realized, fool, you just drinking every chance you get now.
Right.
Come on, man.
It's not even about the revelations no more. I'm still telling myself, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this spiritual work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's when the discipline comes in, where you say, you know what? I ain't drinking nothing for the next 90 days.
Man, after the three sisters, I had went on a fast from drinking for a whole year.
Yep.
After the three sisters experience, that was probably like 7-8 years ago. I was like, damn, I was tripping.
Yep.
I was in it for like 2 months of just three sisters in the morning, meditating, da 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 da. But then I started realizing, oh shit, I need to get out of this crutch or whatever this thing was. And man, yeah, so that's good.
So Michael Bell, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say real quick that sometimes you got to cross that barrier, and if you're strong enough to overcome it, at least now you know in the future, if you want to get to that place real quick. Let's say you have stopped drinking. Let's say you say, man, I haven't had a drink in 3 years, but you used to take them three sisters and have good meditations. Well, if you want to get an answer right away, now you know thyself, and you can go and take you a shot, meditate, get your answer without going through, a lot of discipline is involved too. We experiment with our own body when it comes to diet, when it comes to, because some people can smoke weed and say, man, that's horrible. It shuts down all my dream activity. So that's not for you. Whereas like me, like I said, I can mix it with some herbs. I can mix it with some panic pack. Take some lucidamine. I take me some galantamine. I got me a nice little concoction I can take. And I know that when I go to sleep, it's going to be off the hook. So it just comes down to know thyself. And then you catalog those experiences for later. So when you do need an answer right away, because some of these answers we get take 5, 6, 7 years. But when you got the experience and you've experimented with yourself, you can say, man, I'm going to take me these three sisters. I'm going to go into meditation. I'm going to get my answer right now. And so now that's all I want to say.
That definitely will happen to me. Because when I was in high school, like high schoolers, you smoke a little weed, and it had got to the point to me and my friends were literally smoking weed recreational. It was an everyday thing. So I went a long time without smoking because it started to mess with me. I was paranoid. It was no longer a tool for excitement, for laughter, for all of those things that high schoolers, do it for. But now in my adult years, if we get some of them trees and I hit it once or twice, I'm really going to have a breakthrough. I'm really going to, if I've been thinking about something like, okay, what is this blockage? What do I actually need to heal? What actually needs to be revealed? I hit that joint, I'll be like, oh shit, that's what it is. And then after I get that answer, now I start working on that thing consistently. Like, okay, that's what it is. And then you get the validation that in that moment, that revelation, that aha that I got was actually right. And then as I keep working on it, I start, and it deals with the chakras. I done had to go in and say, okay, I got to deal with this sacral chakra. What's going on with this sacral chakra? Hit a joint. Listen, it was very magical because I don't know how we ended up getting this joint, because we don't buy weed. We don't buy it, but it just ends up at our house, and I'm like, okay.
We got it from Kamani. I think Kamani.
We got that one from Kamani, and I didn't want to say all of that, but it made it made it on an airplane. Let's just say that.
Hey, my dog K rolled up.
Hey, he hooked us up.
Boy, that boy, I said, okay, boy, come on.
Listen, Michael Bell, we was like, okay, we just got one joint. Let's just see what happens. If they catch it on us on the airplane, we're coming back from Atlanta, they just gonna throw it away because it's just a joint. It's not a set. Okay, you can't whatever. It made it all the way home. And I said, damn, this must mean we supposed to smoke this.
Had to smoke it. Yeah, had to smoke
This
it.
must mean we supposed to smoke this. And when we got home, he gave it to us like a day or so ago. We didn't smoke it while we were out there when we supposed to be having fun. It made it home. It made it here for the work.
Right.
Honey, we were Dream and I were having a conversation. I hit that joint. My mind said, pew, 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 pew. All these things that I was trying to understand came to light. And it's just, that was on October 23rd. And we still got a little piece of that joint.
There you go. There you go.
You know what I mean? So
show the book real quick, babe. Show the book real quick, because his
Michael
cover.
Bell's book.
Yeah, and show the back of it too, because I want to dive into this chakra system for the family.
Listen, but I had a question before we go all the way into that, because I definitely want to talk about the chakra system too. Because like I said, I'm doing some chakra work right now, and the chakra work don't really end. You know, just because you feel like you went through the crown chakra and you connecting with the soul star and all of that stuff, that don't mean that you won't get triggered in the sacral chakra, the root chakra, whatever. But Michael Bell, I want to talk about this influence, because you wrote in your book that you got from C. Marie Long's book, that there are different layers of elements of thought. And you put in here influence. And I want to talk about it because that night that we had watched Raised by Wolves, Sis had transformed and started flying and started taking people's heads off. So that same night, I had a dream that everybody was like Marvel characters. Everybody was like Marvel characters. And I started flying around kind of similar to how she did. So that's some form of influence or correspondence in that thing, right? And you put in the book, a true master instigates influence without the awareness of the individual being influenced. This is done through means that affect the subconscious. Clearly, for me to turn around and have a dream similar to where I'm rising up flying, that's influence, and there's something there with the subconscious mind. Why is that important? Why is that influence important with the subconscious mind?
See, the first step I'll say is it's important that you're aware of this, because the goal for us as adults is to reprogram and then redirect this influence, because the influence is there every day. The key is to be aware of, like we said, it's common knowledge to us now in our circles that the colors in a McDonald's commercial influence you to want to buy a Big Mac and fries. The average person is unaware of that, and they're led by that subconscious urging to go get some fries. Whereas at least us, we can say, nah, I don't want no McDonald's today. You know, we recognize the tug, but not today. So the importance of influence, especially in something like you described, like going to sleep and having a dream, the level of awareness that you're at, you saw something that corresponded within self. A lot of the times I say this a lot, that sometimes for me, I'll read a book and I'll get sleepy, and I'll say, man, I'm not even sleepy. I just started reading this book. I'm good and rested, and I learned to not fight it, because it's like the subconscious or some aspect of yourself is saying, I got a download for you real quick. And so you go in, like you said, that's when we have these fantastic dreams where we fly and we do this and that. But to tie it in, I know we're talking about influence, but I always say the importance is the colors you experience in your dream. It's the colors. So let's say some of these dreams, we're not even in our own body. Your body could be a vague outline, and it could be black and blue, like electric blue. And you see these different colors. The goal is a message is being communicated to you through your subconscious mind, of course. And it's being communicated through color. Most of the time it's color. Sometimes I have dreams that are just black and white, but most of the time there's a color that stands out. And I find it best when I have these type of dreams or meditations to explore that color through a chakra, through the lens of a chakra. because and that's what motivated me to start astral projecting through each chakra. Because like you said, we're bombarded with all these influences, and your body organs, your limbs, your chakras, they're all communicating, telling you what they need or what you need to do, or so it's about just tuning in. I don't know if that did that answer the question, or
I mean, you gave great understanding, in the midst of that, because that's important to understand that we're always being influenced. Hell, this election shit, you don't want to hear about it. You don't want to deal with it. You know it's a bunch of chaos, but it's inevitable to like go to CNN because it's just so, this past couple of days, everything has been about the election.
Yep.
And it's been such a strong influence to where it's like, we don't really care. We don't really care. Like from an internal perspective, we don't really care, but we're going to go to CNN anyways.
and see if that ticker, if the count changed any.
Yeah. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. So that influence is powerful. And, we got to really understand that. And we got to really understand the influence of those people around us who are not aware that they're being influenced at all.
The automatons have a play on our consciousness too, because the unconscious collective can summon some kind of energy that can get all the way back to us. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it don't really matter at the end of the day. Yeah, these are.
And that's the good part in the book.
Right.
Because in the book you have, element 1, the group, right? That's the large organizations, the Black people. Then you got the influence. Then you got the capacity. And then you have the collective. These morals and this dogma that we are, operate on. You got to go vote because, your ancestors fought for this. You got to go vote because, Donald Trump, he got them.
Got to stump Trump.
You gotta go vote, because man, I had a friend text me, "Did you vote?" I wanted to curse him out so bad. Nigga, I'm like, why are you even asking me that? Why is this your business? But that's what the collective.
And they don't know. See, that's the collective unconscious.
That's the collective unconscious.
And see, I say this too. What I'm finding my sweet spot in, I'm getting more comfortable with the fact that nothing happens down here that is not in my benefit.
Yes, everything's working out for me.
Everything. So even though I don't want to hear nothing about this election, I just try to sit up and say for myself, what is this? What is the message for me? Because I don't want to hear about, I don't want to hear about Trump. I don't want to hear about Biden. I don't want to, but you're being bombarded with it. And so I always tell myself that on some level, the ancestors gave this a double thumbs up and allowed it to go down. It made it down to here. Now I don't want to hear about it, but like you said, we have to be aware of. We don't want to go along with the tide. So we had these people. Man, my daughter is 11 years old. He called me screaming, "Donald Trump out of office!" And I said, "Baby, how does that affect you?" She was just quiet. I'm like, "Baby, no." I said, "Man, Daddy not being funny. How does Donald Trump not be in office? How does that affect you?" And she couldn't say. And so I'm just glad that now at 11 years old, I can have these real deal conversations. So I told her, "Hey, don't give your energy away externally." You know what I'm saying? If you feel some kind of way about somebody, you better take it inside. Don't you get that energy away. And so I did my best to explain it. But at 11 years old, at least she was humble enough to at least be quiet. Yeah, you all juiced about this dude. And I told her, I try to always give a counter perspective, even especially amongst conscious people. That way, a conversation can be balanced. So I said, "Hey, you sitting up here bashing this man, Donald Trump. You don't think he got a family? You think somebody loved him? You sit up here talking bad about him. You don't even know this man. And I can go equally. I can bash Biden, or I could support him. I'm gonna try to maintain that equilibrium, just to kind of remind folk, hey man, you know, okay, we got Trump out of office. Go Biden. Biden is geriatric and he has the onset of dementia. You really happy to have this old dude who can't remember his lines be your friend? I'm always, but again, the point I'm making is my daughter got swayed. She was so, I mean, at 11. And I told her, baby, when I was 11, I didn't care who was the president. I didn't care. So I asked her, man, how is this affecting you? And just to encourage some thought, man, pump your brakes before you break your pumps. Think about it, baby. What does this have to do with you? So we have to be aware of these influences and then make it work to our benefit. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's all mental alchemy. For me, it's mental. It keep me in check. It helps me to stay balanced. It helps me not to get caught up and get drug out with the tide, or get drug in with the tide. Sometimes I might want to be out there in the deep, so I'm gonna stay where I'm at. Other times I want to stay on the shore. I don't want to get drug out there. So the influence is great for determining where you are, because we can't judge distance without movement. So that's why it's hard for a lot of people to grow. I'm not just talking spiritually, financially, morally. It's hard to gauge your growth without movement. So what we do is we tend to push off of others. Like, I'll disagree with you, D-Ray, just so I can kind of gauge where I'm at. And so my whole thing is that's a great place to start, but eventually you only want to disagree with yourself. That's the only person that really matter, and not on a selfish tip. I just bought this book. Oh, I don't know where it's at. Selena Hilton on Facebook. I posted a page from a book. I didn't know where the page was from, but the page was profound. I shared it. She saw the page and she said, I know what book that came out of. But the book is like 2 weeks to prospering or something like that. But in the book, it was a paragraph that said, your subconscious mind does not recognize anyone but you. And the reason why you don't talk bad about others, the reason why you don't talk bad about other people,
because you're talking bad about yourself.
The subconscious just thinks you're talking about yourself.
Come on.
So the point I'm making is, we find ourselves where we push off of others so that we can gauge our own growth. But this is an unconscious process. I might not even know why I'm disagreeing with D-Ray. I'm just, it ain't the sacral chakra. It's the Manipura chakra. I'm all bent out of shape. But mentally, I'm only having this debate with myself. And it's like, why are you so angry, bro? Chill out. And so I've reached a point, the term is called dialectical engagement, where you take a subject, pro, con, one side you for it, one side you against it. You do this within yourself internally. You take a stance for something, take a stance against something, and then you weigh it on that scale within yourself. And that way you can learn to gauge your growth against your own movement. I don't have to gauge it against D-Ray's consciousness, against Dream's consciousness. I can gauge it within myself. And that's the problem is, most people are influenced externally, as opposed to like the dream you had where you went to sleep. And I'm certain that dream sparked you to probably meditate on something or to dig up a book and read something. So even though that external influence gave you a push, I'm certain you made it internal. You know what I'm saying? So I would just say that the influence is there. But the best way I know of in the beginning is to just convince yourself that, man, everything happens in my benefit. Even if it is getting some McDonald's fries and you didn't have no intentions on getting it. Man, nothing happens is all for a reason. So get them fries, man, do that. But you have to, at some point, claim responsibility and ownership of your life. That's the only way to really remove yourself from the influence, you know?
Yes, yes. Facts on facts on facts. Michael Bell family, we got the guide in here with us, dropping on his book. Look, you can go get his book at Pillarshire Publishing. The link will be in the description. The link will be in the description. For real, family. Go get it, because it's a deep dive into self. Look, I got a question. And look, family, chat room, chaos family, y'all put some questions in the chat room, because I know some of the family wanted us to have a Q&A. So we go down. We hit you, chaos family, put some questions in the chat room for the God. Now, 3 degrees of Masonry representing the 3 principal stages of life, right? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about it. The solar plexus, the heart chakra, the throat chakra. Let's talk about it. Let's deep dive.
Okay, let's do it.
Into that aspect of self. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. One of the keys to Masonry is, of course, most people should know you have 3 degrees. We see the number 3 everywhere in most religious systems and most spiritual systems. It's the number 3. Mm-hmm. We always see the 3. We have the triple Godhead in Hindu, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. We see these 3s. Well, these 3
goddesses and all of that.
Exactly. The triple goddesses, the Virgin, the Maiden, and the Crone. Mm-hmm. We always see these triplicities, and they even show up in your astrological chart. You have the triplicities. These things exist to remind us of something, and it just so happens that in terms of Freemasonry, it's presented in 3 degrees. And those 3 degrees is what helped me to correlate it to the chakra system, because it deals with the 3 stages of your life and your consciousness, which is, in terms of Masonry, is stated as youth, adulthood, and old age. But it's actually closer to the concept of birth, death, and rebirth. And that's what we all go through, like we said earlier about the generator, operator, destroyer. We all go through these triplicities in our life. And sometimes it's a continual process. It's like working on your chakras. You never have a death and a rebirth, and that's it. I don't got to grow no more. I've ascended. My consciousness is off the charts. Ideally, so long as you in the flesh, you should still be constantly growing and outdoing yourself. This should be an ongoing process. Now, in the book, what I just point out is that I call them the 3 initiatory chakras in terms of initiation. And in Masonry, you have the 3 degrees of initiation, passing and then being raised to a Master Mason. But most of us don't realize that we go through these 3 chakras in our life on the regular. So every 7 years, well, I just want to keep it simple. We go through, our life is in cycles of 7s. That's why we have the 7 seas, the 7 continents, the 7 wonders of the world. These 7s show up as along with the 3s. So with these chakras, the thing is, since it's a continual process, that's why you're continually reminded about it in everything you see, everything you hear. But in the book, we deal with the 3 chakras being these initiatory chakras, starting with the solar plexus, which is indicative of like pre-adulthood. Solar plexus chakra covers like 14 to 21. Mm-hmm. That's at that point in our life where we've kind of covered, our foundation is set. We kind of know who we are, but we're reaching a point where we want more, and we have to actually deprogram. Solar plexus chakra, that is where you begin the process of healing the wounded child. It takes place in the heart, but this is where you actually recognize where maybe you were traumatized in high school or elementary, or maybe this is where you confront it and you deal with it, because the solar plexus is also, it represents a road. That's one of the first places you can astral project from. Mm-hmm. Solar plexus is one of the first. Mm-hmm. So this is where, you've already begun to work on your chakras, whether you know it or not, once you reach this point. Now, whether you worked on them correctly, whether they're balanced, it doesn't matter. You at this, we deal with our chakras daily, and we can tell by the imbalance. We can tell about the balance or imbalance, and also there's overstimulation too. So you find yourself at these specific chakras, and you can kind of tell where you might be imbalanced or unbalanced. And even though technically 14 to 21 is the Manipura chakra, man, you can be 46 and still dealing with solar plexus issues. We know this for a fact. You can be, I know dudes older than me that all they think about is sex, 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 sex. Man, that old girl got a fat ass. Oh man, you see, they 59, 60. Man, sacral chakra overstimulated, pimp. You need to chill out. You know what I'm saying? Man, so it's an ongoing process. Now, what I wanted to point out in this book is just different ways and techniques for you to recognize where you are on the chakra scale, what needs work, what might be overstimulated, what might be understimulated, and how to keep it at that balance point, because your chakras are best visualized as spinning wheels. Once one wheel spins left, it makes the other one spin right, and so on and so forth, all the way up. But like any machine that's spinning constantly, we can think about it in terms of our car. You need maintenance on the regular on your car. You don't just hop in it and just keep driving and you don't work on it, because eventually you're going to start hearing a tick and you're going to say, what's that sound? And then now it's ticking. If you don't stop and get it worked on, well, what's going to happen? That tick's going to turn into a clunk, and now you got a bigger problem. So the purpose is, what I wanted to point out in this book was to recognize these chakras in your day-to-day life, and you do preventative maintenance on them. What I mean by preventative is you don't wait until your sacral chakra is all out of whack. You catch it, you recognize it, and then you deal with it there. Now, the thing about, I want to tie into Freemasonry, so for those listening to understand a visual that I put in this book. Everybody recognizes that Master Masons wear these aprons, right? The apron is actually covering your lower two chakras. It covers the Muladhara and the Svadhisthana. It covers your root and your sacral chakra. Not that you dead down there. That symbolizes a form of it's like a cutoff point. Like I'm only dealing with, because your lower two chakras, that's a powerhouse that you draw energy and work from for the rest of your life, which is why you want those two chakras to be balanced, because that's the well that you draw from constantly. So you want to have those two in check, because that same well of energy is what rises up to your crown. It's the same. That's your well of Zim. That's your fountain of youth. And we all gonna draw from that same well constantly. So as you work on your chakras, if you don't have those two in check, then it's a good chance. And yes, you can still get to the pineal and the crown. It'll just be all corrupted and bad info. Yeah, you can still bust them things wide open. The same way you can have a car that need an oil change and it's rattling and clunking, and you can still be in the fast lane doing 80. You know what I'm saying? Oh yes, it's very possible. But the thing is, as a Master Mason, you had this apron on. It symbolizes a cutting off point. That, hey, I got this down here under control and everything else up. That's where I'm at. I'm in these higher chakras. And so that's why in the book, I stated that the beginning stage is at the solar plexus. And then from the solar plexus chakra, the next initiation that we go through is in the heart chakra, Anahata. Now, I always think of Anahata. I always think of, you guys seen the movie The Shack?
Old school. I don't think we watched that, but I know it was from a book.
No, I seen it was with the young guy, the little black kid or whatever, huh?
It had the sister was God in the end. Who was it? Was it Loretta Devine?
No, yeah, you talking about like the little shack. It was a little, literally a small building they would go to or something like that.
Yeah, the dude's daughter,
or something.
She died, got kidnapped.
No, we gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's the guy. It's the guy that was in Avatar. I think it was the guy from Avatar. I forget his name, but whenever I think of the heart chakra, that is a great. That's a real good heart chakra movie. Real good heart chakra movie. But heart chakra in Sanskrit, Anahata means unstruck bell, right? Now that's kind of vague, and it makes you, when I read that, it took me a while to understand it. Well, in terms of Masonic terms, a lot of people are familiar that they say in Masonry, the temple that was made without hands or sound of tools, right? That's biblical. See, a lot of this stuff that we consider to be Masonic is biblical. That's in the Bible. In the Bible, it says that King Solomon's temple was built without the sound, without hands or the sound of tools. Well, Anahata means unstruck. So that means that here at the heart chakra is where you build your temple. This is where you get underway. Your foundation has been laid. The foundation being your lower three chakras. The foundation has been laid here at this is where you build your building up. So at the heart chakra, this is where anything from the previous chakras or earlier in your life or whatever you're going through, this is where you deal with it. You come to grips with it. If you have to, go in meditation and talk to that emotion, talk to that person, whatever it is, you deal with it at this heart chakra level because you don't want to take it any higher. You don't want to take any dysfunction, anything higher than, because your heart is where you get the work done. Your heart, stomach, and brain. Your heart is made out of the same matter as your brain. So is the stomach. It has neurons. You have 3 brains in your body: stomach, heart, head. And it all lines up with these 3 degrees and these 3 chakras: solar plexus, heart, and then you have the third eye. You have, what I'm saying? So it all lines up. But you want to deal with these traumas at the heart. You don't want to take it no further, because from there, next level is the throat. Every religious system says that God creates with the voice. The goddess creates with the voice. In the beginning was the word was God. So you don't want to take anything from this heart level that's unbalanced. From after the heart chakra, these are the get it done chakras. Throat chakra. Throat is connected to your arms, which is why your throat, from the throat chakra, which is Vishuddha. From Vishuddha, if you look at any chakra book, it's going to show your throat, and it goes down to your arms, because this is what you create with. You create with your word, with your mouth, and with your hands and arms. From here, you don't want to take no wounded child. You don't want to give no. That's like giving okay, a lot of people watch that Blood of Zeus. I don't know if everybody watched. I'm gonna tie this into the throat chakra real quick. A lot of people watch that Blood of Zeus on Netflix, and it was about the Greek gods. But Hera, Zeus's wife, she was in her feelings because Zeus wouldn't have had a baby by a mortal. So she was that unhealed child operating at a throat chakra, pineal, and crown chakra level. And you see what she did? She was so out of whack, man. She released now, even though we know from an occult standpoint, releasing them demons, she opened up them chakras, right? What she did was very necessary. But I'm gonna speak on it just on a plain level and say that by her system being out of whack, when for real, it was a point in that show where Zeus actually gave her the ultimate apology. I'm so sorry. From this point forward, it's gonna be nothing but you. And she still said, okay, well, kill that bitch. Yeah, I know I'm not forgiving, but that's what the heart chakra is about. It's about love, understanding, and forgiveness, but primarily for yourself. We've all experienced these traumas in our life, and believe it or not, even though, like we just said, even though you blaming somebody else, you're only pointing the finger at yourself. I've dealt with issues in my heart chakra where I had to forgive people for stuff that I thought I never would. And I recommend that movie to Shaq, because Sam Worthington, that's the dude's name. It's a great heart chakra movie because he was hurt by something that happened to his daughter. And we know that our children are just projections of ourselves, you know, so his daughter getting snatched and kidnapped and possibly raped and tortured, that tormented him. It destroyed his life. He couldn't move forward. And it's the same thing with the heart chakra is where we have to deal with this information at a heart chakra level. If you want to have any sort of balance and purity at the throat chakra level, at the pineal level, at the crown level.
Yeah.
So moving from the heart, the next one is the throat. Now, the reason why I state the throat chakra is the third degree of Masonry, because most people don't know, but every Masonic lodge is referred to as the Blue Lodge. It's all referred to as the Blue Lodge. And you ask anybody, you read any book on Masonry, they'll tell you it's unknown. They say it's the sign of friendship. It's the color blue symbolizes friendship, honesty, brotherhood, blah, you know. But there has to be a reason. And the fact that nobody can say why they know, that told me everything I needed to know. You know what I'm saying? It was meant to be rediscovered, because when it was initiated, it was understood. And all these things, I say that it's melanated science in our current age is traced back to Egypt. But the thing about that is Egypt got it from somewhere. Our consciousness is evolving, but right now we're operating off 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. These things are being replayed in a cycles. It's cyclical, and it's like a centrifuge, if you understand the term. The more you turn this wheel 360 degrees, the faster it goes, the more energy it produces. This is ancient information. We look at the chakra system and we think of it as Hindu. It has these names like Manipura, Svadhisthana, Anahata. You know what I'm saying? We think of these names and these words, but there's a reason why, in terms of consciousness, you can only discuss certain things in other languages, because it's all scattered and fragmented. So we might be talking chakras and we'll mention Sanskrit, but then we might go and bring up the Hebrew Kabbalah. We might have to bring up, you know, the Orishas. All seven, the Orishas line up to the chakras. So the thing is, all of this is scattered and is fractured information. And what we're doing now in this age, in Aquarius, what we're doing now is we are bringing it back together, because a whole new epic is being written right now by us. A whole new, I don't want to say religious system, but that's what it's going to become. But it's time for upgrade. You look at the Bible, and you guys have noticed, you guys got a copy of the book. A quote from the Bible, tough. Yep. I'm pretty sure it's going to make some people throw up. It might even make some people throw the book down. But what I wanted to do was, I wanted to show that, first of all, the Bible is an occult document. And by occult, I mean things hidden in plain sight. And then the other thing I wanted to show was that the Bible was written, first of all, everybody knows it doesn't have an original concept. These concepts exist in other places through other cultures, other religious works, other spiritual systems. But the significant thing about the Bible was it was prepared to be given to us at an age when we had no knowledge of self. None. So there's a lot of hostility towards the Bible right now, you know, that slave religion, whatever bad you could say about it. But the thing was, we were in the age of Pisces. Pisces is symbolized by two fish, right? But C. Freemanell is one of the ones that pointed out that those two fish are actually 2 feet. And Pisces actually represents the follower, or I won't even say the follower. Hold on a second, let me plug this laptop up. It's known not so much as the follower, but it's the believer, because Pisces is your feet. your feet is your soul, your S-O-L-E, but also your S-O-U-L. Our soul needed something to feast on during that time of famine. We were in a state of not knowing, which is why I don't want nobody to feel like they granny, who was a diehard Christian, led them, you know, fucked your family up. My family got caught up in Christianity. No, your granny kept that line alive with some, because we, as melanated people, we need spirituality. That's the fuel that we exist off of. So just the point I want to make real quick, the Bible was given to us during the age of Pisces, when we needed to believe. We need to follow something. The feet follow the head, but no, not where the head, you know, the feet just follow. The soul, the soles of your feet, our soul needed to be fed and nourished during that time of unconsciousness. But in the Bible, near the end of the Christ, near the end time with the Christ, when he was getting ready to be hung, and he told him, hey, if you're looking for me, how we know, you know, when your kingdom coming, how can we find you after you're gone? It's when he had risen after the 3 days and he was heading up to the ethers, right? He told him there'd be a man by a well, you know, go see him. Well, we were given this book in Pisces to take us into the age of Aquarius. That man, it's commonly understood that Bible verse is a reference to the sign of Aquarius. All doing in the Bible, Jesus was the fish, the fisher of men. Pisces, we saw all the Piscean references, but he was letting it be known that this book is going to carry you to this age, but go see that man at that well. So it was to get us through this period of not knowing. You can be as mad as you want at it, but there's nothing that's not in the Bible that's not, that you won't find in Egypt, that you won't find in India, that you won't find in the sub-Sahara. It's the same information, because it's only one story to be told. It elevates with our understanding and with our knowledge. So having said that, I'm most concerned now with the epic that's going to be written during this age of Aquarius and beyond, which is why I do my best to encourage people to think. A lot of people, it's great to get your downloads and meditation, but read this existing information because it's yours. The start of this show began, Bobby Hemmings said, all this information is being prepared for you. It's not the speaker's information, it's yours. So I accept that people like me, I'm going to write a book. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sit up and I'm going to read this book and present that information for you, to you. But my thing too is, man, don't wait for me. Get it in, have your own revelation, have your own realization, because a new book is going to be written. And that's what I'm really curious about myself. And that's probably my personal focus. But I got off track with the chakras. You want to
no, but that's good though, Mike. That
okay.
Gene said, feet don't fail me now. That's power, Gene. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's dive into some of these questions. And that was a good build, Mike. You already know the chakras important, especially them 3, but all of them, hey, you got to keep it in. Let me see some of these questions. Some people have some powerful questions from the Chaos family. Let's see what these people talking about.
Oh, I see one that said, how you make 3 sisters.
How you make 3 sisters. Man, you got to get some kind of Canadian whiskey and
50% whiskey, 50% gin.
Gin, yeah, and just mix it up. And what I used to do was I would pour half of the bottle out and then pour the other half in there and then have 2 bottles of the 3 sisters. It was going down, boy.
Yeah, I did the same. I did any brown and white. Panic did a supposed to be whiskey. Panic back in days he did a Miss Blue. I believe it was on one of the Miss Blue shows, but he spoke on the properties of gin, and I got hooked on gin for a while because gin straight up is also a great opener. You can do it in shots, you can do it as libations. And I want to say this too. I try to be mindful of some people are on the wagon. They teetotalers. They can't have no alcohol. And so You might be hearing this and saying, oh man, I can't tap in. Yes, you can, because the mind is all and the universe is mental. So if you can't drink, and if you know yourself, and you know, because I would say don't drink it, just sit it on your altar. But if you know yourself, don't even have it around. You don't got to drink. You can use anything as a substitute. The same way you can go to church and they give you some grape juice and an old Keebler cracker, and that grape juice symbolizes the blood of Christ, and that Keebler cracker is his body. So you can get creative. You can use Kool-Aid. Get creative. Sprite can be gin. You can mix some Sprite and Coke, because your mind makes it real. So I just want to say, because I have done substitutes myself, just to get myself mentally in that mode. And you just got to build up the energy inside just within yourself. So for those who can't do certain things, you know, like I asked somebody, it was somebody who asked me, they were a vegan and they didn't want to put meat on their altar. Man, you don't got to eat it. You don't got to eat it. It's there for your ancestors. But if the smell of meat, if that repulses you, you can put a picture up, print out a picture of a steak, print a picture of some gin and some whiskey and put it on your altar. Your mind makes it real. Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Facts on facts on facts. The genie. Yeah, I remember that panic lecture.
Yeah. Great revelations.
Yeah, some Firewater says, can you please explain how to recall a dream as you're waking up and forgetting parts of the dream? And that's another thing, family. Me and Mike did probably 2 years ago a video on dreams and supplements to take and herbs to take and all of this. And it was a powerful build. I'll probably post that in the community tab for the family. But yeah, go ahead, Mike. Basically, just one thing I want to say about that is a lot of times we're getting up and our consciousness is coming in so fast because we're thinking about the kids, or somebody might have to go to work, and you're just in a rush. Your mind just goes. So you got to slow down, because you always dream, trust and believe. You always dream wise. You slow down and don't touch your phone. Don't touch the motherfucking thing. Just when you open your eyes, just sit there and lay there and recall. You know what I'm saying? You start worrying about the struggles of the day, and that's when you forget your dream.
Yep. I say I want to add on. I want to piggyback and add. I'll say this. It starts at night. You gotta prep yourself at night. It's a level of confidence. You want to remember your dreams. You just got to tell yourself, you know, for a fact, you're going to dream. Now, I got it in the book. I've talked about it on Facebook before. What I do is I pregame. When I was working on my dreams, I've been doing dream studies for a while now. Anybody that been following me on Facebook know that for like 7-8 years now, I've been on dreams. So what I realized is, for dream recall, especially if you're one of those people that say, I hardly ever remember my dreams. First thing you want to do is you got to remind your subconscious that I want to remember these things again, your unconscious mind, because unconsciously you've reached a point where you just dump those files. And we all know somebody who every day they had a dream, and you'd be like, this nigga had another dream on, you know, so you pregame during this. Now this game is for those who have trouble recalling. If you already recall your dreams, you can do this same technique to kind of boost it. But this is a nice starter for those who struggle. What you do is you pregame during the day. And what I mean by pregame is you use your imagination. You just think about, start off simple, and see yourself remembering your dream, waking up and the dream was fire, and man, what color was that? Oh, that was a yellow rose. And even though it's all imagination, because your imagination is your shortcut to the astral. So what you want to do is you pregame during the day, just thinking about remembering your dreams when you wake up, how excited you're going to be by remembering your dreams. And you can even throw in there what you're going to dream about, you know. But again, it's about your imagination. And so you want to fire that back up. And then you go to sleep with you got to tell yourself and have the intention that I am going to remember when I wake up. And likewise said, when you wake up, don't be in no rush. Now I say this, our phones are important to us. Most of the times we reach for our phone before we fully woke. So what I did was this. I would set a phone, a notebook app on my phone. I would have it open. When I wake up, I would dim the light on my phone before I go to bed. So if I wake up at 3 in the morning, if I wake up on time, I would grab my phone and I would jot down anything I remember. The reason why you want to dim the light, because you don't want to wake up. You want to still be in that half dream state. So this was more of a valuable tool in the middle of the night. So if I woke up at 3 in the morning, I would just jot down phrases: red rose, Cthulhu, ocean water, sky was purple, and then you go back to sleep. And then at least that way, even if you wake up at your regular time and don't remember nothing, you go to your notebook app on your phone, or you can have a tablet next to the bed and write it in with a pen. I used to keep a tablet and a pen under my pillow. And you get up and you'll be surprised when you read it and you'll say, Cthulhu, sky was purple. And you'll say, oh, that's right. And then what you do then is you add some more. Don't worry about getting the dialogue and the storyline. Just add some more. And then what usually will happen is throughout the day, you might get more, or sometimes with dreams, a week later, you'll remember a dream and some more details. And then the purpose of writing it down is maybe once a month. Don't read it every day, but maybe every 2 to 4 weeks, go back and read everything you wrote, and you'll be surprised at what come back to you. But everything you're doing is programming your unconscious and your subconscious and saying, hey, this is important to me. I want to remember. And the supplements do help. That show we did, it was a couple years ago, like 2018. These supplements help too. It's the book, Advanced Lucid Dreaming Techniques.
Called loose. Was it called
Supplements?
Supplements something, yeah.
I can't recall the guy's name.
We got the PDF though, so we're gonna we'll post it. Hey, y'all gotta join me on Facebook, man, and Michael Bell. Make sure y'all follow us both, but we'll post it in the Facebook group because that was it was a real quick read and a powerful book for dream recalls. Also, my dream subs are coming back after I got this other supplement coming out, but my dream subs are coming back, so y'all stay tuned for that. Let's see, somebody else said, Michael Bell, when are you starting your own YouTube channel? Yeah, Mike. Hey, listen, I've been telling Mike this for years.
I got it. Look, I got it set. Okay, let me say this. Years ago, and Wise been on me. My other, I got a partner that I know. Sure, his name is Sure Rock on Facebook. We go back. We were friends. He been on me, man. Start your YouTube. I say this. I didn't have a desire then. I was just all about getting my study on. Man, I don't want no YouTube channel. I'm reading, I'm studying. Facebook and Instagram enough for me. But now that I've reached this point where, ironically, now I'm ready and I got my content. I wanted to know that I knew what I was talking about. I want, now that I'm ready, man, between dropping this book, I work 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, but I got the channel set up. Right now, the name is Kabbalah Elohim. No content on it, but I got the channel set up. Real soon, I'm going to start getting my content on there. I'm going to stick to what I know for the most part, which is going to be Kabbalah, dreams, chakras, the things that I'm most familiar with. Of course, Necronomicon content and things like that, and decodes, because I'm also from watching Panic's videos and being a good student. I think it's important that people understand how to decode. And again, for me, I'm always tell you everything is internal. I'm gonna tell you it's all about you. So I think that we need the understanding of decoding dreams. It starts with understanding and decoding these mythology, stuff like that. But long story short, YouTube channel is set up. I just have no content on it, and I just have to find the time and to start doing it. But it's coming soon. So that's the best I can say. It's coming soon.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, wait, hold on, I missed it. Michael Bell, do you have any tips on strengthening visualization skills?
Oh yeah, I do. It's all your imagination. Now, a lot of people, when we were kids, we had strong imaginations. We lost it. For some people like me, I never stopped daydreaming. When I read books, and I was surprised to find out from other people, when I read books, I see the book in my head. I build a world. I don't care if I'm reading something about electricity. It could be a dry mechanical document. I see what I'm reading in my head, and I know that that's not the same for everybody. So what I'll say is, there's books out there like cyclomancy.
You'll get this Philip Cooper book, Secret Creative Visualization. That one.
Those are the books you need. But I'm gonna say this: if you can't afford it, if you don't have the PDF, you just have to figure out how to hack yourself. And what I mean by hack yourself, we all learn through our 5 senses. Some people are visual, some people are auditory, some people are by taste, some people are by sight, some people are by sound. Now, usually nobody is just one of these things. Usually it's a combination. Like me, I learn by reading, seeing, I learn by touching. So a lot of times if I read something, I'll write, and that'll help lock it into my memory. And then I like to listen. So for me, it's going to be those 3 senses. So figure out your 3 senses. So if you're an auditory person, you want to listen to descriptive things. You want to listen to things that causes your mind to build pictures. Because when you meditate, everything depends on your ability to use your imagination. Matter of fact, C. Freeman said that was one of the 3 parts, the 3 eyes on the triangle is intuition, intelligence, imagination. So a shortcut could be from cyclomancy. He suggested getting a penny, and you stare at that penny and you memorize it, then you close your eyes and you try to build it back in your mind. The penny didn't work for me, so I tried something else and it worked. Panic has the apple. The apple technique works so well. I did it with my kids when they were like, my kids are 11 now. When they were like 3 and 4, Panic dropped that apple thing in a lecture, and I would have them do the apple. Those who's not familiar with it, he said his dad would have him, Panic said his dad would have him visualize going to the kitchen, getting the apple, use all your senses with the apple, but you're doing all this with your imagination. So what I did with my kids, and trust me, if a child can do it, you can. I would, every time it was time for bed, my kids would go to the room, get ready for bed. I would have them sit on the edge of their bed, not lay down. I would tell them sit on the edge of the bed, but from there, close your eyes. Imagine that you've laid down. I want you to get up, walk to the kitchen, go into the refrigerator, reach down there. Now you're doing all this with your imagination. What you're doing here is this has like a 3-fold effect. You're increasing your ability to use your imagination, but you're also charging your astral body, because that's what you're using. That's your astral body. So I would have them walk to the kitchen, go in the refrigerator, get an apple, rinse it off, and then I would tell them, listen to it, put it to your ear, what you hear. And they would did whatever they said they hear, what they hear. Okay, roll it around in your fingers. You feel it? Oh yeah. I would get them to use all their senses. Take a big bite. Oh, did you feel that water run down your face? And and then swallow it. You feel it going down your throat. You're attacking all of your senses. Now, what this is doing is it's charging your astral body. It's getting you familiar with stepping outside your body. And then I would tell them, when you finish, throw the apple away, turn the light off in the kitchen. And you always do this slowly. Any visualization, you move slower than you would in regular life, because the tendency in your mind is to kind of like is to rush through it. Do it slowly. Now, the good thing about it is, with my kids, I would have them sit up, because I didn't want to talk them into the astral. I just want them to do it. Then they lay down and you go in. But the thing about it is, as adults, you lay down and you do these visualizations while you're laying down. What's going to happen is your body is going to go to sleep, but your mind is going to be active, and never fails. This happened to me so many times. I'm going to tell you how good it works. It doesn't have to be an apple. You can pick any any symbol that means something to you. I've done this technique and realized, oh shit, I'm astral projecting. I'm outside my body, because your physical bodies went to sleep, and now you just up walking around your house. Or, I used to visualize the tree of life and all the Sephiroth, and I'd be staring up at it, and I'd be amazed and doing this, and it would be planets where Tifereth is. It would be the actual sun, and I'd be looking, and next thing you know, you outside your body. You've left your body. So the key is, with visualization, you use a picture. You can stare at an image all day. Anything that matters to you. It could be a skull, it could be a cross, it could be whatever. You stare at it and you try to close your eyes and reconstruct it in your mind with as much detail as you can. And what this does is it strengthens your ability to use your imagination. And then from there, you use your imagination as a shortcut to the dream or to the astral. The dream and the astral is all the same. Don't think that it's just lower. It's like the dream is the lower layer, more unconscious, where you're just watching things happen. And then as you go higher up, like lucid dreams and astral projections, you become more of an active participant as opposed to watching things happen. You can, change little details. But that's the best way to strengthen it, is to pick an object, whether you print it out. And even if you work every day, I don't want to hear that excuse. I'm Tommy from Martin. I ain't got no job, but I got a job. I used to print out pictures. Actually, what I did, I turned my desk at work into an altar. I took pictures, printed them out, I laminated them, taped them to my desk, and I would stare at these images all day and recreate them in my mind. And then if you don't have a desk, say you got a job or you got to move a lot, then you take your phone and you change your lock screen, and you make your lock screen an image that you want to recreate using your imagination. And every chance you get, you stare at that, and then you daydream and you rebuild it in your mind. So yeah, that's about the best way I could think of.
Yeah, that's good, Mike. That's good. We're going to take a few more questions. Look, y'all make sure y'all go get Michael Bell's book on his website, Pillisher Publishing. The link will be in the description. The link will be in the description. Let's get a few more. Man, the whole family asking some good questions. But look, let me go to Kenny's question. He said, how severe, if at all, is the process of reincarnation in relation to the chakras?
What's that? Can you say it one more time?
Kenny said, how severe, if at all, is the process of reincarnation in relation to the chakras?
Oh, man. For the most part, anything that's traumatizing you can be an impact. For some people, I see all this stuff going cycles. I see a lot of people are at a point of trying to remember why they chose to be here. Why, and this is a constant thing, because as you wake up, and even when you are quote unquote woke, there's levels and layers, and you kind of always find yourself questioning that's a question, So yes, can reincarnation be traumatizing to that effect? Yes, it can be, but it doesn't have to be. That's why I said at the beginning of the show, I spent an entire summer doing past life regressions. Now, there's people like Khadijah, who's great at it. I would never knock a professional. That I forget that one sister you guys had on here. That's what she did, was the past life regressions.
Neoshi.
What's her name?
Neoshi.
Yoshi. She's powerful. After you guys, I started following her YouTube. I mean her Instagram, and she's powerful. But yes, it can be traumatizing. I'll say this, me personally, I'm a scientist. As best I can, I try to deal with it on my own. But the only way you can deal with it is to be impartial to yourself. So reincarnation in terms of trauma, you have to accept responsibility and ownership first. You're not an accident, because by that logic, none of us supposed to be here, because my parents sure didn't plan on having me. The thing was, I chose to come here. I chose my mother, I chose my father, I chose when I wanted to come back, and I came back. So a part of it first is to heal that trauma, is to claim ownership. I'm here by choice, not by force, because I went through a whole phase. Trust me, I'm not just talking. I went through a whole phase where I was mad at my mama and daddy. I didn't ask to be here. Got me dealing with this, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't give me no game on how to live my life. You don't even know how to live. I went through a whole phase of that. And in meditation, I even talked to my man, one of the most vivid meditations I had dealing with my mom after she passed, and I dumped all this on her. I hit her with all of it. Man, I asked to be here. You know what I'm saying? You brought me here. You didn't have no answers for me. Do you know what her answer was, Wise? She laughed at me and said, oh, Michael, you're a god. She laughed at me. You try to dump something on me, man, you better get your game together. This is your turn to shine, son. You know what I'm saying? And that's all she did. I was in there like a little kid, grown man, but a little kid shedding astral tears and blaming her for everything. But so what I did, though, I accepted my responsibility. I got a better understanding of reincarnation. You chose to be here. And even in that choosing, even if you don't recall it to the degree that's satisfactory for you, just that understanding alone should be enough to begin the healing. It's, to get it started. And then from there, it's just about forgiving yourself. I mean, even let's say you were molested as a child, and you say to yourself, what's a good example? Okay, why would I reincarnate? Okay, I chose to come here, but why would I choose to be molested? I mean, there's a what is that? What they say? There's a blessing in every lesson.
Blessing in every lesson. Yep.
Yeah, you came here. Yes, that's trauma, but believe it or not, it's the traumas that lead to awakenings. Right. I tell my closest friends all the time, especially ones that's woke, that's conscious, and they be mad about maybe they siblings, how they sit, man, I'm the black sheep of family, man, they don't fuck with me, man, I be wanting to kick it with my brother, I be wanting to kick it with my sister. And I always say, hey man, be thankful that you are the black sheep and they don't fuck with you, because otherwise you be enmeshed in that family circle. You be talking about, oh man, tomorrow's praise service, Mike. I got to get with you, brother. I got to get my ties together. You'd be locked into that cycle, because I know people, and I'm not knocking nobody, because we all come here for work to do. But if you find yourself on this side of the fence, I do know other people who have no second thoughts about their life, and they go to church, they feel fulfilled and satisfied, they watch their sports, they do whatever. So the point I'm making is, yes, you went through something traumatic because you asked for that wake-up call. You knew that if I don't have this happen to me, I'll never wake up. Matter of fact, I'm going to have this happen to me, and then 10 years later, that's going to happen to me. And if I still don't wake up, something else is going to happen. So a lot of the things that we consider traumatic, we haven't found the blessing in that lesson yet. Try to find the blessing in it. That's why I said when me and D. Ray were talking earlier, I'm trying to get to a point where everything that happens is in my favor. I have to remind myself when my thinking starts kicking, when my stinking thinking starts kicking in, and I'm saying, oh man, I'll get to complain, and I got to remember, no. This is all happening to my benefit. I got to find the benefit. I got to stop. Okay. My little, my pimp cats, my street partners used to always say, never complain, campaign. So the trauma is just a signpost. It's like looking back on, it's like when you're on the freeway and it says 3.7 miles to the next exit. That's all the trauma is. It's just it represented a fork in the road for us. For some of us, we're in a constant loop. We just keep driving past the same sign when we know you should be hundreds of miles down the road, but we keep going past that trauma because we haven't dealt with it. And that's partly what we talked about with the heart chakra. You gotta at some point, even if you write a letter to yourself and expect the answer, because you're gonna get the answer in the form of a dream or meditation. So if reincarnation proves to be like a traumatic thing, because let's face it, being born is so traumatic that very few people can say, I remember being 2 days old. Most people can't even go back past 6 years old in terms of memory. So there is something traumatic about coming back to this life. You know, me personally in meditation, I went back to a few days old, but because I sincerely wanted it, it was something I was intent on experiencing. And so I'll just say, you can write a letter to yourself. It's multiple ways.
Yeah.
If you don't feel as though it's something you can do yourself, there's people like Neoshi, people like Khadijah. There are people that if you, somebody like Wise or myself, I can point you in the right direction. I would just say for myself, I attempted to tackle those things on my own.
Yeah, I don't know why we playing with Kenny, but Kenny know what it is. Go and then look, y'all can get this book, the Akashic Records, Master Your Life and Raise Your Vibration, Melissa Fayek, because she talks about the chakras and tapping into that Akasha. And y'all know we came. Some of us, you know, we set this thing out to have multiple lifetimes so we can learn something new, have all these different experiences and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to take 2 more questions. I'm going to let Mike pick the questions because some of these are real easy, but that I'm trying to see if we can find a good one.
Oh,
Hey,
I see one here.
Hey, y'all, Mike, give them your Cash App too real quick. Y'all
Oh,
Cash App the
my
guy.
Cash App is Michael K. Bell 781. You know, $ Michael K. Bell 781. I'd appreciate that too. I'm not gonna lie. My goal, you know, I'm Tommy from Martin. I ain't got no job. My goal is to make that a reality because I really do want to. I got more books in me. I got more information I got to get out. I'm gonna be honest about that.
Facts on facts on facts. Go ahead, Mike. You said you seen one.
Yeah, Chief Wildfire said I want to astral project again. I want to astral plane again. He said I went to space, got scared because I thought I couldn't breathe, and ran back to my body. Okay, that's a very common. That's real common. I went through that.
Oh, I see it. Who said that?
Chief Wildfire.
I don't even see it. But okay, wait. Okay, yeah, go ahead with it though. Yeah, I can tell you my experience with that because the first time you do it, you know, you're gonna be like, oh shit, what? You're gonna be tripping out. Yep. But you know, that's the thing. You just want to stay consistent, and then obviously, you know, you ain't gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of feels like you just left your body. That's it. So then at the more and more you do it, just like in meditation and you start seeing all this stuff and you talking to your ancestors, the more and more you start doing it, the easier it'll come. The more confident you'll be. Let me just say that. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, I'll say this. One of my most frightening moments, and again, this is me. Everything is personal. It might be nothing to you. I was so deep in my meditation. At the time, I was meditating like 3-4 times a day. And that's when I was, like I told you, I was talking to my different body parts and different body organs in meditation. And my body revealed to me, guess what, my nigga? You don't gotta breathe. It told me you don't gotta breathe. Matter of fact, you can be in charge of your breathing, you know. Showed me, you know, and it makes sense because we got those dudes in India that can slow their breathing and their heartbeat down to where you can bury them in a casket under you know 6 feet of dirt, and you can dig them up in 2 weeks and they're still alive, right? Well, for me, this was a panic moment. I panicked because I didn't want to be in charge of my heartbeat. I didn't want to be in charge of my breath. You know what I'm saying? I want that shit to be automatic. And I was kind of like, you know, I kind of panicked out at the time. And this was some years ago. This was maybe 2016, 2016 maybe. Either way, Devin Whitmore, Devin Whitmore on Facebook, Akonki's World on Instagram. She was the one who did my tarot reading at the time. And she did my reading for me. And I ain't gonna lie, I had to tell her, like, man, that it fucked me up so bad I didn't want to meditate no more. I hadn't come to the understanding of I didn't want the responsibility of my heart beating. And so she helped me to understand, because she did my reading around the time that I had this revelation. And she was like, you don't gotta worry. You know what I'm saying? It's on automatic already. You know, just that part of yourself was letting you know you can regulate that. And you do. So you will realize that you don't need to breathe. It don't have to be a panic moment. Even in meditation, you'll find yourself, like Chief Wildfire said, he was in outer space, but you could find yourself underwater gasping for air. That has happened to me too, where you underwater and you gasping, you're trying to hold your breath. You have to realize that, man, it's just a fear thing. And the initials for fear, FEAR, is false expectations appearing real. You just got to calm down, relax, because I've had other dreams and meditations and astral projections where I couldn't get out. I saw something happen and I wanted to leave, and then I couldn't. And you just got to kind of deal with it. So what I always learned is that, especially in astral projecting, just got to stay calm and act like you've been there before. You know, so you in outer space, your mind is saying you got to breathe. Trust me, you don't. So, you know, I personally believe that we're all addicted to oxygen, so much so that if we don't get it, our organs shut down and we die. Where oxygen is like water to a fish, we think of it in terms of it's necessary, but I actually think we're addicted to it. I really think it's like a drug. Because once you realize that you don't need to breathe like that, which is why people regulate their breathing for chronic breathing. You regulate your heartbeat, your breath, and all that. It's a form of discipline, and it's a form of weaning yourself off the addiction. But the fear is natural. Don't trip. Don't ride yourself. Find a way to get around it. I would say because Chief Wildfire said he was doing it astral projecting, then tackle it as a mental exercise, or tackle it as in meditation, something that you have a lot more control over, because sometimes you can't astral project and you'll find yourself, it's like a mixture between a lucid dream and a regular dream. You know, some parts you interact with, other parts you kind of like just witness it. So just find a way to hack yourself and overcome the fear, because fear is just a false expectation that appears real.
Yep. Yeah, I put Michael Bell. Hopefully that's the right one, Mike. Is that your right Cash App before I send this to you? Because shit, I'm trying to Cash App the guy. You see where I put it in the chat? It says Michael.
No, it's Michael K. Bell 781.
Oh, see, I almost sent it to the wrong person. Hey,
yeah, 781.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And it's AEL, MICHAEL.
Oh shit, I spelled that wrong too. See, boys reading questions and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, but let me see if we can find one more question. Firewater said, "Can we Cash App you for the book?"
Oh, of course, no doubt. I would say this: hit me up on Facebook. If we're not friends, send me a request and inbox me at the same time. Because writing this book, my weirdo meter been off the chart. I get a lot of weird inboxes, you know, from people accusing me of worshiping a floating goat, all kind of stuff, man. It's weird, the stuff people take out their time to hit you with. But I would just say, send me a request, because I accept almost anybody, so long as you don't got not a babalao. I'm on an anti-babalao thing right now. But hit me up, send me an inbox, and send me a request with an inbox, and we could take it from there. And if some people don't have PayPal, some people don't have Amazon Pay, if you got Cash App, we work it out. And yeah, so you can Cash App me for the book. I just want to be sure that I have your address and stuff. That's why I'd rather you inbox me first, so we can establish this dialogue, because you can Cash App me and I won't even know. Some people Cash App be busted wide open Betty. I don't know who that is. You know what I'm saying? So hit me up, give me your address, tell me you want the book, tell me how you want it, because you might want to expedite it. You might want it regular, mail, and we'll take it from there.
Mike, put your Cash App in the chat room real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna do it right now.
Yes. The family, the chaos family, go down, do this work, get into work. Let me see what else y'all talking about, man. Let me see what y'all talking about. Oh, do the twin flames share the same access to each other's spirits, ancestors, etc.? Hell yeah, me and D-Ray, we pour libations for each of our ancestors. We connected. We all family. Shit, I call the A23 guy my ancestors. If they in alignment with your vibration, that is what it is. Put them on your altar. Go for what you know.
You know what I say about twin flames and soulmates? A lot of people don't realize, we hear these concepts and we tend to think that these are absolutes, that if I find my twin flame, we're going to be all gravy and, we're going to ride off into the sunset. Like Bonnie and Clyde's going to be but what you have to understand is that we exist in, everything down here is polarity. So a lot of us are searching for our twin flame and our soulmate, and you just don't want to approach that with the misconception that it's going to just be no polarity. There won't be disagreements. It's going to be all flowers and hugs and kisses. We're in the realm of polarity. Polarity means you're going to experience one of three things, if not all three at the same time, which is positive, neutral, negative. Negative don't mean bad any more than positive means good. Your soulmate, your twin flame, could actually be here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. You could run into your soulmate, and movies like What Dreams May Come, they were soulmates. It took them, 30 some years to hook up in this life. And then when the movie ended, they hooked up as children and they would meet up again. So the search for your soulmate and your twin flame, I'm gonna say this, because my wife is mine. And we had a rocky road, right? And I'm just saying that to say that I was under the conception that when you meet somebody like that, but we are in the realm of polarity. The best way to approach it, and like I said, I apply everything to myself, is you have to love yourself first. That's the only way it's gonna work out, because otherwise it could just be a reason or a season, and you want it to be a lifetime. But even within that lifetime, just don't approach it with the understanding, with the thinking that I met my twin flame and now we just finna, it's gonna be all peaches and creams here on out. Yeah. I think a lot of people have a misconception about that. Don't let those terms fool you, because just to use the term twin flame, flames require fuel. Flames require fuel. They have to consume something. It takes three things for a flame to survive. That's oxygen, fuel, and an ignition source. Those three things represent the same three things I just said: positive, active, and neutral. It requires some sort of action. And that's what your soulmate or twin flame is usually here to initiate. It's usually that person is here to initiate some sort of action, some sort of catalyst within yourself and you to them. So just don't approach it like we said earlier, twin flame, soulmate, not a couch. They're tools. And they're tools that in this case, you guys work on each other with. It's not a couch. You don't rest on it. Please believe it.
Facts on facts on facts. The mirroring effect.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Your ancestors, we are not like shit. I just came through into this family. So we don't gotta think of this bloodline and all of that as absolute fact or some kind of fact. Is chaos. So the family, the ancestor, anything goes. You feel me? Let's see if we can pull out one more question for the God Mike. What is up? What is up? And look, that's a good question. Straight said, and I'm actually gonna talk to Panic tonight, Panic and Khadija tonight. So, and I heard that question wrote down. Have you ever entered anyone's else's dream space? So that's crazy because I wanted to ask Panic about that when he was talking about entering Khadija's dream, and and I wanted to deep dive with Panic on that because shit, I'm trying to.
Hey, I want to say something to you, Wise.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this. It's kind of it's kind of on the topic. I don't know if you remember. Whenever you had me on here for the first time, at that time I was working on my astral projection. But what I wanted to do at the time, I was trying to experience what they call the astral tube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Robert Bruce calls it the astral tube. The astral tube it's that sense of falling asleep.
Yeah,
When
I
you
remember
fall,
that.
you're going through the astral tube. You're going to the astral. Most of us, when we go astral, we just kind of wake up in the astral. We went to sleep in our body, and now we're in the astral. Or you just step out your body and you're looking back at yourself sleep, and then you move on. Well, there's a brief period. No matter how fast the transition is, a brief period. The point I want to make is, I was going to be on the show the next day, and I was practicing I was trying to go up the astral tube. But again, I had a misconception of what it was. Got to approach it with an open mind. Don't think I thought it was going to be an actual tube, like sliders. And I was going to go through this tube, and I was, but the point I want to make is, I saw at the time, Wise, you didn't have no picture of yourself up on none of your social media, not even on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw you in the astral.
Yeah, I remember.
Now, you remember that? Remember I told you about that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, sometimes you see stuff and you don't, it's not what it appears to be. Other times it will be. I can honestly say that with Wise and then with Ajin before, because Ajin was another person that never had a picture of himself up for years, and I can honestly say that I saw Wise and I saw Ajin before I knew what they looked like. I saw them in the astral and knew exactly what they looked like. Only thing with me, when I told Wise what I saw, his dreads was longer.
Mm-hmm.
Your dreads were longer. But other than that, man, I saw this, and it was so vivid that I said, man, I gotta ask this brother, because it felt like, but okay, I'm sorry. I knew it was you, but the point I want to make is, at the time I was experimenting with that space, the astral tube. And at the time I saw people coming and going. It manifested for me a little different. It kind of looked like everybody else was kind of moving like zombies, not like movie zombies, but everybody was like in black and white, and they were just walking, going through like a long hallway. They was going through different doors. Wise and myself were the only people that was kind of animated. And as a matter of fact, I heard Wise's voice before I saw him. And I said, "Oh, what's up?" I said, "What's up, family?" And he said, "Oh, you said to me, oh, you said, oh, you early, fam. You said you early." And I remember thinking like, wow, early. But like, oh, we're gonna get to it, but you're early right now. So I just say, I know you can enter other people's dreams. My boy I mentioned earlier, Sure Rock, that's what he kind of focused on. That's his thing, is trying to dream walk and enter people's dreams. I remember a lecture, I believe it was Aline Bay and Bobby. and Lean Bay has said he saw Bobby in the astral or something like that, and Bobby kind of like confirmed it. So I think it's possible. I think it's a skill that can be learned. It's forgotten at this point, but I think it's a skill. I think that there's the old school movie with Randy Quaid. I think it's called Dreamscape. Old school movie, and that's what he was doing in the dream. Well, the government, they've been exposing the government recently. In the 70s on up, the government was the CIA had weaponized all this stuff, all dream invasion, remote viewing. All this has been weaponized by the government. I was reading a book the other day that said when Russia was doing their dream studies, they would send people down in submarines, have them go into meditation, and stop a mouse's heart. And it worked. They would be either sleep, they would either be in a dream or sleep. The CIA had people doing controlled astral projections. So yeah, stepping in somebody's dream is real possible. I know it is, but it's a skill that's been forgotten. And I'm gonna be honest, in this age of Aquarius, it's all coming back, and it's gonna come back stronger. So if that's your focus, I would say start working on it. Start working on it.
Yeah, you got to do a form of astral projection, and then you basically got to just take your astral body to that person. But for that person to know that you in their dream, like say they're in a dream, right? Say they're asleep, and you're trying to hack into their dream. Now that's a whole different ball game. But you can actually impact somebody's dream before they start dreaming or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, Too Wise? Hey, I want to say real quick, movies like Inception. A lot of people, a lot of us, when we start doing the dream work and astral projection, a lot of people are concerned about protection. You know, you don't want to go there. You don't want to get lost. You don't want to cut your silver cord. You know, you got all these fears. You don't want nobody else invading your dream. A movie like Inception is a good movie because it explains how we all have these natural defenses to protect ourselves in our dream. And then you can work on them and make them even stronger. But I'll say this, when you talk about going in somebody's dreams, other people can feel that's offensive, just the idea of it. You know, that can be frightening to some people. That can be
It is.
Well, that's the thing I want to also tie in, because we're in our own mind. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want people to feel like somebody's gonna come and hack into your mind, and you know what I'm saying? You feel me?
That's what I want to say real quick, Wise. I just want to say that you got these natural defenses. Now, I'll say this also. I've known that other people were reaching out to me in the dream too, though. I recognized it. Yeah, we've all had them dreams. I tell you the truth. I got one of my managers fired back in like 2012. I got him fired, and I did it with conscious intent. And that motherfucker was in my dream going crazy that night. And that wasn't my consciousness. It wasn't like I had a guilty conscience. He was behind these bars and he was just reaching and trying to, why would you do that to me? And I woke up and I knew. I laughed and said, he was trying to get at me in the dream because he was so passionate about what happened. But them bars was up for a reason. You can't reach me, pimp. But what I want to say is, set up your own protections for your own peace of mind. Now, Dion Fortune has that book for psychic self-defense. Before I read that book, I did my own. I would go in meditation or in the dream, and I would place protections around people I love. Do it for yourself. However you imagine. Mine would be little crowns of light. I would put these little crowns of light on my head. They would for different family members and kids. They had different shapes, different colors. I really didn't choose. The shapes and stuff just came to me, and I would place them on there, and I had a specific intent that this is a forever shield and it's going to recharge it. Whatever you got to tell yourself. If you feel like this is something you need to go in for yourself, You put protections around yourself, and you say, every 3 months, I got to go in there and charge it back up, whatever works for you. But just to put your mind at ease, because again, you are in your own mind, but at the same time, we do share. I am of the understanding that we share, if not the subconscious, the unconscious mind. Just that we have these natural protections up where at best you might be able to stick your head in and watch what I'm doing. But I believe too that it's also possible, yes, you can invade, but I would just say that have faith in your body's own natural abilities. Same way you don't got to think about breathing and your heart beating and your liver doing what it do. You got to think about your left pinky toe doing left pinky toe shit. It's going to happen automatically. And it's just like with vampires. Vampire can't come in your house unless you invite him in. So can't nobody invade your dream unless you welcome them in. And that's where the being lucid, aware, doing the dream work comes in. That way you don't actually invite somebody in that you don't want in there. But that's what I want to say about that.
Yeah, and I've healed people in dreams, but their consciousness wasn't physically there. So for example, like a family member, I'm going to them, so they're here in my dream, I'm going to them, I'm healing them, right? And all of a sudden in this waking life, they're healed, but at the same time, they don't have no conscious knowing what I did.
But what that is that their oversoul does have that knowing and understanding, because you can't heal nobody unless, on the soul level, they are open and receptive to that.
Yeah.
So their conscious mind is not, receptive, aware, but the oversoul is like, all right, we're going to accept this healing.
Like I was walking with a family member the other day. She was going through some tough stuff because her mama just died. So I'm walking with this family member, and I'm helping her understand this death, this death thing, right? And I call her on the phone or whatever, and now she's slowly but surely coming into accepting it. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not directly impeding her progress in blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? I don't want people to feel like that, because dream will come in your dream. but in your mind, in your own mind, you see what I'm saying? You do have these mechanisms to protect against, somebody invading your privacy and stuff. Let's see if we can get one more for the family.
Well, you keep on coming back with the one more for the one more.
My bad. That's true.
Jeez Louise.
Well, there was so many. There was so many. I didn't want to leave the family hanging, and I knew it was something. But yeah. Hey, look, y'all go get Michael Bell's book. Make sure y'all go get the guy's book. It's a powerful book. He got the Kabbalion in there, chakras, everything dealing with masonry and the body and the mind. Powerful book, spiritual book that we need. And listen, Mike, when this whole is a collector's item. So, hey, you better go get it. Go get it. Go get it.
I just posted the link in the chat. I want to say, man, thank you to you and the queen, to your goddess. I appreciate you guys sincerely. When I work nights, I usually catch Sunday service at work, Sunday night. And I'm always blown away by the variety of guests, how deep people go. And I say I'm amazed that I'm actually on this panel, because I'd be like, I watch the other episodes, and everybody else is way doper than me being on here. I'd be watching like, oh, that was dope. So man, this is just I'm so appreciative of the platform you guys have provided. I'm appreciative of the fact that I've been a repeat on here. And I'm so thankful to the Love Live Life family. It's an amazing experience, an amazing time to be alive. So I just want to say thank you. I did put the link for the book in there, pillarpublishing.com. Man, family, this is your information. I'm proud to be a vessel and a preparer to give it back. That's all I can say.
Oh yeah, you know, Mike, shit, you was on the first Sunday service with what was his name? The Flat Earth dude.
Oh yeah, yeah, yep. Right.
Yeah, we got so many of these things from Khadijah to man, and it's just gonna get to. We just had Zoe the other day, and who else we had? I'm still AA Rashid's supposed to still be coming on. Look,
oh, I can't wait for that. I'm waiting on that one.
The whole gonna be off the chain. Listen, next week we got the God King Simon, the numerovation. We're gonna talk about numbers, family. We're gonna dive into this numbers thing and how these numbers correlate with spirituality. Y'all know what it is, man. It go down. Shout out to the guy Mike, to the chaos being Michael Bell, man. Mike been on this thing since forever. Look, I'm gonna post the supplement thing that me and Mike did a long time ago, so the family can have that information. I also got some supplements coming out that's gonna relieve the chatter, right? So you go into meditation, they call it meditate. You go into your meditation, they relieving the chatter. It's stowed in the panic pack. Fuck what you talking about, panic. and it's gonna get there way faster. Hold up. Shout out to the guy Panic. Y'all go fuck with Michael Bell, man. Y'all do the damn thing. Go to the website, lovelivelife.com, and get your spiritual tools. And we'll see y'all next time, family.
Peace, peace.